Thank you so much for this opportunity to present and reflect this paper. I chose the title of Globalization, Ministerial Challenge, because it very impressed me with the situation and problem of our country, Myanmar. Three new important points that I learned from this essay. Number one is a history of globalization. So I learned the history of the globalization. The first take from the early period, Egyptian, Babylonian, Greek, Roman, and Chinese, Aryan, Indian, and the second stage start from 15th century, European discover new lands, and trade expand between the Europe and the New World. The third stage of the globalization, followed by the global colonization. That is begun with the advent of the Industrial Revolution of Europe. So Europeans saw raw material and market for its products. It ended in World War II. But ideologically, theologically, and cultural consequences continues to influence till today. So we can say we live in a new state of globalization. The second point I learned is the consequence of globalization, wrote by Joseph. According to his writing, it includes 12 points. So it is very similar and very same with our situation, because we depend on the China, and in our country, gap between rich and poor is very high, and we are ruled by military government, and we have a big debt to China and Japan, and also World Bank. We have 14.9 billion US dollar in 2018, and the value of our currency, $1 US equal to 1371 Myanmar Jet. And group of arm, we have more than 100 armed group in Myanmar, and destroy the natural environments, forest, stone, river, and destruction of traditional value, moral norm, national culture, all in our language, our literature, and also misuse of religions, ideology, and culture. And the worst thing is the sacrifice of children and women because of the globalization. And the third one I learned is a biblical interpretation. According to the Genesis chapter 48, we thought that Joseph is a man of God, good planner, see the future, mobilize the people, and good morality, and fear God, and good administrator. But according to this paper, I learned he is the protector and contributor to unjust system, and he support the king Pharaoh, who is the capitalist, dictator, and the landlord. That's I learned from this paper. 2 points that I disagree with the paper. The first point is said that any economic system that relegate or marginalize human life fall short of the divine standard. But it is partially right, because all of globalization and economic system do not make the bad thing to the society. The only misuse of system may destroy the image of God. That is my opinion. Second point is that the value of globalization is contrary to the biblical teaching of the kingdom value. But in my opinion, the globalization itself is just a process. But the problem is the human heart or human mind. We can see in the Genesis chapter 6 verses 5, God saw that the weakness of man, so there is a sinful man, sinful heart of man. So the problem is human, not globalization itself. 3 points, that is serious theological issue. So for Myanmar, I want to point out 3 points. The first one is migrants to the city and town. For Karen people and Chin people, the migrant from our state, and the secondly, migrant to other country. So 2 lakh of Chin people and 4 lakh of Karen people migrant to outside of our country. That is the big problem, big issue. And the gap between the rich and poor in central part of Myanmar is a very poorest region. But 11 well-known billionaire in Singapore is from the military family. So very big gap between the rich and poor in Burma. And the third point is destroy of the property of indigenous people. The indigenous region in Myanmar is very rich in forest, gas, jade, coal, hydropower, mineral. But because of this poverty, they suffer a lot, and armed conflicts, drug, and because of the civil war, IDP camps are landless, homeless, are increased more and more. The 3 points I want to propose transformative action for the promotion. The first one is cultural cooperation to resist. So we indigenous people should be united in spirit, not only in the culture, but also in our mind, in order to resist the effect of the globalization. And the second point is a transformative perspective. We need to interpret theoretically or practically reflection to the Word of God. So praxis thinking is very important. In order to do biblical practice, we need to social and culture analysis of our culture. That is very important. The final one is speak out and sharing. Encourage and help our churches, Christian member to engage in prophetic action for justice. Sharing is also important in indigenous people. Sharing among the indigenous people and sharing between the local people and the government, and also sharing among central government and local state government should be equivalent. So I propose cultural cooperation and transformative perspective and speak out and sharing. Thank you so much.